After a while, I just couldn't take it. I just couldn't handle it. Hey lovelies, welcome to the channel Romalee. I'm Romalee. If you are here for the very first time, thank you so much for coming over. Please consider subscribing, turning your post notifications on, and giving this video a thumbs up so others will be able to see this video. So today I'll be sharing my story with you about my journey in China. I'll be giving you the story from day one up to date. All right, so let's jump right into it. So I came here in November of 2019 in China, yeah? But I started my journey, I started gathering everything in early 2018. That doesn't mean that it's going to take you a whole year to get your documents and everything ready. But you need at least a bachelor's degree to get here. But when I first heard about this, I never had a bachelor's degree as yet. So I had to wait to complete my degree, but I was working on getting my certificate, my teaching certificate, and everything like that. Don't worry, in my next video, I will be giving you all the information you need on gathering the necessary documents to get here. So let's stay on track with this story. So I remember having only $200 to my name at the time, and I decided that I'm leaving with that. After buying my ticket and everything, you do get reimbursed for all these things, but for me, I needed a clean slate for friendships and everything. I just needed a fresh start, and I decided that I am doing this. And just to point out that this teaching in China, it's not a program, as in there's a JET program, which is teaching in Japan. And when I heard about that, because first the person who introduced me to this, they were actually telling me about the JET program in Japan, but I never had the money to do that because a lot of money is required for that. But you don't require much to teach in China, and the benefits are way better. So I decided that, you know what, I'm going to do this whole China thing. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to say I gave these things up, but I left them behind because I decided that this is what I wanted to do. I left my family, I left my relationship, and I left everything I knew, and I came here. So I remember when I just got here, they left my luggage in Los Angeles, and so I got some money. So that was a plus, but really I never needed that money, and I'm going to tell you why later on. But yeah, they left my luggage, I got that money, and I remember when I walked out of the airport, I saw this man with a sign with my name, Romalee. Now the man spoke no word of English, but I just went up to him and I was like, pointed at my name, and I was like, that's me, that's me. He took the carry-on that I had and put it in a car, and it was an hour later, I arrived at the hospital, and there was the head teacher from my school and another teacher. The head teacher, a man, an old man, and a woman. She was just a little bit older than me. So as I arrived there, they told the man goodbye because apparently they booked that that driver to just pick me up at the airport. So I remember the moment I came out of the car, they gave me a hug, and the head teacher, he wrapped this blanket around me, and the other lady that was there, she placed her number in my phone, and she said, you know, this is my number, call me if you ever need anything. So I was at the hospital because even though you need a medical check to get here, when you do get here, the very first thing you have to do is go and do another medical. So I did that. The next thing I remember, they took me to this restaurant to eat some noodles and stuff like that. And right after I did urine test, blood test, and something else, I forgot. So right after that, it was another 2 hours before I got to the actual city where I was going to live and work. Yeah, so I got there at night. The head teacher, because before we got there, the other woman, she got out of the car because she went to her city. She just got off at a stop. So it was me and the head teacher, and it was night when I got there. I went to a hotel because at the time my apartment wasn't ready. I got to a hotel in the night. I realized that people were really, really nice. And at that time I was thinking, the vibe is kind of weird because people saw me coming into the hotel and they was like, so I was like, what is going on? Because I heard stories before I came here, but when I actually came here, things were different. Things are really, really, really different when I actually came here. So in the morning, the head teacher, he took me to the police station, because that's the other thing you have to do when you actually get here. After doing your medical, if you get here and it's morning time, after doing your medical, you get something to eat. If you want something to eat, the next thing you have to do is register with the local police. So my head teacher took me there. I registered with the local police, and the vibe I was getting once more was a little bit weird because at the time I wasn't used to all of this. So when I'm getting in his car, when I reach at the police station, the police officers were taking pictures with me. They were taking pictures of me just sitting. They were whenever one officer is talking to me, the other officers are making videos and taking pictures of me. So after that, I was still at the hotel. Our head teacher, the head teacher now, he's an old man. He took me, we were doing the onboarding process where he was showing me the supermarket is here, the market is here, etc., etc. Now, when I went on the road, I realized that cars were literally bumping into each other just to see me. People were running out of their cars to take pictures of me, to ask me for my autograph, to take pictures of me. People were just holding strands of my hair because my hair was longer than this at the time. People were taking strands of my hair like this, and they were looking at it like this. All the people were like coming up to me and rubbing my skin like this, and they were just looking at it, and people were like, wow, wow. And I was asking my head teacher, what is going on? And he was saying, you are the first foreigner to ever come in this city. And then he told me, brace yourself for work tomorrow. At that time, I didn't know what to expect. I was really thinking, as I'm saying, the vibe was a little bit different, but I wasn't really thinking of, okay, when I go to school tomorrow, what is going to happen, whatnot. So the night, the other teachers from the school, because I was working at a private boarding, they call it middle school here, but in Jamaica it would be high school, a private boarding middle school here in China. So most of the teachers are old, like, from say in their 30s to in their 60s and up. So I was the youngest teacher at the school at that time. So I remember we had dinner that night, because if you ever come here, Chinese people, they love to have dinners together. They eat together, and they absolutely love doing that. So I remember I went to eat, and the teachers too, they were looking at my hair. And I remember this man, he looked at his wife's hair, and he said he cannot speak English, so he was like, no, and looked at my hair, and he was like, good. And everyone started to laugh, and I felt so welcomed. They were all saying, welcome to China, welcome to China. The day after that, before I went to school, my head teacher took me to his home, and his wife, she just gave me a hug. I walked in and she just came in with the hug, hugged me, and she was like, welcome to China. And she gave me a big bag, and that bag the school had actually bought, or the head teacher's wife, she bought socks, shoes, jackets, winter stuff, pants, and a lot of things for me. She bought a whole lot of clothes for me, and I was like, thank you very much, you didn't have to. And she was like, no, this is my gift to you, welcome to China. So it was just really nice. So that's the head teacher, he kept the bag. And then so I walked into the school, and the security officers, the security guards, they came out and they were like, hello, and they were so excited, and they took pictures with me. I got used to that life, taking pictures. You'll get used to it when you come here. So if you don't like people taking pictures of you, or people staring at you, like literally staring at you, your eyes will make four with theirs and they won't stop looking at you. If you weren't used to that, you're going to have to get used to it when you come to China. So anyways, I entered the compound of the school. Class was in session. The place was so quiet. So a part of the onboarding process, the head teacher, he took me on the grade 7 block because I was the grade 7 teacher. I would have been the grade 7 English teacher, and I had 14 classes. The moment I stepped foot on that block, I'm not sure if people were looking out for me or they knew I was coming. The whole school, grade 7, 8, 9, the whole school came rushing down on me. And the teachers had to come, and they were like, behaving like bodyguards, and they were stopping the kids. Some kids started to cry. Some kids were like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And some kids, they hugged me. The teachers had to take pictures for the kids, and everyone, they were so excited. I was nervous going on that campus, and the welcome I got, it's like it washed away all that nervousness. Trust me, I wasn't feeling nervous again. And I was like, this is weird. This is a little weird. I'm just saying it's weird because I wasn't used to that at all. I wasn't used to that. I wasn't used to people. Literally, I was treated like a celebrity. I was literally treated like a celebrity. And I'm not talking about just on my first day. Look at this. This was me after 5 months. After 5 months of being at the school, this was me. My kids were happy to see me every single day. People were happy to see me in the town every single day. And as a small town where they've never seen foreigners before, everyone in the town knew a foreigner was there. Everyone wanted to get a picture with the foreigner. Everyone wanted to see the foreigner. Now, at school, I had 14 classes. Each class had about 40 to 50 students. And when you think about it, when I say that, you would think, wow, that's too much to handle. Trust me, that was so easy. It was so easy. Children here are very, very, very mannerable. They're very respectful. Very respectful. I don't need to shout. The kids respect me so much. Every day I go into class, the students will be like, oh wow, Miss Roma, you're so beautiful. Miss Roma, we love you. They always give me some sweet notes. And sometimes I'll see some notes on my desk with flowers, and they'll draw a cartoon version of me. they'll just write, "You're so beautiful." And I kept all those notes because I'll be putting them in a frame when I'm leaving here, you know. And sometimes I read those notes and it just warms my heart. And I remember once I was teaching the topic family, and the kids, they were asking me, "Do you miss your family?" And I was like, "Of course I do." And they told me, "Don't be sad, we are your family," you know. And one other student said to me, because this is a boarding school, we often miss our families too, but we are really good friends, and because we have friends here, we don't feel so sad. So don't be sad because we are your family. I think that's just the sweetest thing. That was just so sweet of them. You know, I taught only grade 7, but the grade 8 and 9 kids, they spoke to me every single day. When it was time for me to have lunch, the chefs at the school, they gave me more food than everybody else at the school. The teachers would just look on my plate and have a laugh and be like, "Wow." The chefs treated me nice. When I go to the supermarket, everyone wants to take pictures with me at the supermarket. And if they see me every single day, they still want to take pictures with me at the supermarket. I would go to the gym. I'll get free membership at the gym. I'll just be walking to school. Someone would literally just stop me at the spa and say, do you want to get a massage? People will be doing nails and my lashes, my eyebrows for free. And I'm like, no, I'll pay. And I said, no, we're so happy to do it. People would help me with every single thing. If it looks like I'm lost or I'm not understanding something and I'm on the road, someone would literally come over. If they cannot speak English, they would translate on their phone. Do you need help? The people who speak English, their families would always force them, go and talk to the foreigner, go and talk to the foreigner. So about this next semester, a girl started working at the school. She was my age, so I was no longer the youngest one. You know, there were 2 of us that were the same age, and she became my very good friend. And I remember she told me, if my parents know I'm talking to you, they would be so proud of me. And I was like, why? And they were saying, you know, because our parents send us to these expensive schools to learn how to speak English. If I'm speaking to a foreigner, my parents will be so proud. I'm like, who are your parents? She said, everyone in the town knows you. Everyone in the town knows who you are. And I'm like, what? Why? She says, everyone here knows who you are and everyone here thinks you're very interesting. I'm like, what? Why? And she says, they just think you're so beautiful, so interesting. I'm like, okay. And guys, I remember going to her home, and you know, Chinese people love to have dinners, as I told you, love to eat together. And I remember I was eating with her family. Her family, they welcomed me into their home. So, you know, they were so nice to me. And we were having dinner together, and I remember her whole little community, like her whole complex, came to her house, and her family, they were really so proud of her. And she told me the next day that the aunties, they were telling their kids, look at, for example, Miss Mary's daughter, let's call her mother Miss Mary. Miss Mary's daughter, she's able to talk to a foreigner. I hope you will be able to talk to a foreigner too, you know, stuff like that. And I would go I gained so many Chinese friends. We would go hiking. We would go so many places together. I was just having fun. I did so much in the space of a month of being there. In December, COVID started. But at that time, it was just in that particular area. So we were still able to go to other places and go out. So I wasn't staying at home as yet. No, you know, the police officers, they would usually always come to my home, come to check on me at school, ask me if everyone is treating me well. They ask me, am I having any problems in my apartment complex? And I lived at an apartment complex with just old people. like really old people, and they're the sweetest people I know. The sweetest people I know. They would literally, if it's raining and I don't have an umbrella, I would literally see a lot of old lady rushing to me with an umbrella, and I'm giving back the umbrella to them, and they were like, no, take it, keep it, that's a gift for you. And you know, I remember like buying some groceries, having the tissue to bring up, but my hands were full, and I lived on the 10th floor. There was no elevator because I was living in the city, guys. I was not living in the city. So I wasn't used to certain things that I'm used to now living in the city. And you know, I remember the lady, she actually she took the tissue from me, and she walked up 10 flights of stairs, and she just took it to my door, and then I said, thank you, auntie. And she was like, no, it's okay. And she told me goodbye. No, after a while, so COVID came, and during COVID, the staff at my school, they were really nice to me. I had no problems. When COVID came, I heard stories of foreigners who were being mistreated here, but I couldn't say the same. I couldn't relate to that, because I was at a place where I was literally treated as a celebrity every single day. Yeah, I was treated as a celebrity every single day. I couldn't relate. COVID came, no one scorned me, no one treated me differently. My head teacher would come, take me to the supermarket once a week, because my school would let him take me there once a week to get groceries my school paid. The teachers from my school would call me every day. The students would call me every day. Their parents would call me, talk to me. My family would call me and talk to me. But after a while, mentally, it was taking a toll on me. I remember when COVID, when we started the lockdown in January, and people were home, but you couldn't tell that people were home. When I looked out my window, not even a bird was flying. Not even a dog was outside. People were home, and it was more quiet than when there wasn't any lockdown. The silence was deafening. The silence was definitely deafening. So after a while, I couldn't handle it at all. I couldn't handle it. And I remember just always cooking, posting, my pictures and little snaps on WhatsApp. People were always asking me for the recipes, and I told them, okay, I'm going to make a YouTube channel. When I just started out making the YouTube channel, it saved me, because mentally I was suffering. Mentally I was really suffering, and it helped me. I was so depressed, but the YouTube channel, it really helped me. And it was slow at the beginning, and then when it came after a while, things just after a while. And I really, even though things are a little slow now, because from me, well, I'll get into that later. I was cooking, posting recipes, getting feedbacks from people, feeling great about that. And my time was really occupied, because in the daytime I was cooking, I was taking the pictures of the food and so on, and so I never really had time to think about what was really happening around me with the virus and all. And as I said, I had no problem with people. I had no problem with people in terms of being blamed for the virus or anything. I never had any problems. So let's see. Now, after the virus and I went back to school, everything was just normal. The same love I was getting from my kids. My first set of kids, they went to grade 8. I got a new set of kids. It was the excitement started over. and my kids in grade 8, they were still loving me. My new kids were so excited about me and stuff like that. And a year after being in the small town, I was invited to the capital city of the province by a Jamaican. Now, when I came to the city, I was so surprised. That was my first time seeing a foreigner. My first time seeing a foreigner in a whole year was when that Jamaican invited me to her home. I met up with other Jamaicans. We enjoyed a few days in the city and so on. And I never thought anything about it. I thought that, wow, this is so nice of me. I felt so different. I went to places that kind of reminded me of America. So, it kind of gave me a homely vibe and stuff like that. And when I went back to me and Joe, of course, when I went back to the small town, of course, I felt as if, that's where I wanted to be with other foreigners. I wanted to be somewhere. I love the Chinese people where I was at. As I told you, they treated me with so much respect and love. I really wanted to be there. Yeah, I really, really wanted to be there with them. But I thought that it would be better off for me to be somewhere where other like-minded people are, or where people are that I'm kind of used to the things that are going on. So after a while, and YouTube was getting a bit slow, and things wasn't like that as it was in the beginning. So my mind went down again. Mentally, I was suffering again. And my head teacher spoke to me about it, because that head teacher, guys, he was like a father or like a grandfather to me. That man, I think that man is the person who my grandma prayed for to be here to protect me. Yeah, he did every single thing for me that I wanted him to do for me. He helped me with everything. And I remember he helped me to go to the supermarket. He helped me when I was going to the markets to buy meat, so that people wouldn't overcharge me or anything like that. And I remember once I asked him, why are you always doing everything for me? You've never said no. And he said that, I have a daughter who is your age, and I wish that if she ever goes to a foreign country, that someone will be there to help her. So he was like my guardian angel. I'm not going to lie, in the flesh. My guardian angel in the flesh. So after a while, he told me that, I can see that you're happier when you go away on the weekends, because he used to be the person to get the taxi and so on for me, because I was living in a small town. It was nothing like the city, no metro. You can only get a taxi to go where you want to go. So he said that if you can find a job in the city, we will help you to get all your documents together that you need from the school and from the local police and so on, so you can go, because we want you to be happy. But we would love it if you can find a teacher just like yourself, or a teacher from Jamaica. Because guys, after a while, all people spoke about, the only country people spoke about besides their own was Jamaica. They spoke about Usain Bolt, Jamaica. Every time my students and the teachers would tell me, Jamaica is so beautiful, we love Jamaica, we want to go to Jamaica, and so on. So they said they wanted a teacher from Jamaica to replace me if I'm going to leave. So I met some Chinese friends in the city, and when it was I got a job at a kindergarten in the city. That's where I am now. And so my Chinese friend helped me to find an apartment, because even though your apartment is paid for by your school, in the city, the school, you have to find your own apartment, or the most they can do is help you to find a realtor to help you to find that apartment. So I remember my last day in the small town, I was crying, because I was like, this is what I'm used to. Even though mentally it's taking a toll on me, this is what I'm used to. and I remember I waved goodbye to the head teacher because he helped me to pack, he helped me to organize the car, everything to take me to the new city. So that's the part of my story from when I was at that wonderful place. I might have a second part to this video because it's already so long, so I'll have a part 2. So this is part 1. I'll have a part 2, and in the part 2 I'll talk about my life in the new city and how things changed. All right, so guys, this is it for part 1. There will be part 2 where I'm going to talk about my life in the new city and include other things. So thank you so much for watching part 1. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope I didn't bore you. I hope you found some things useful, some useful information in this and whatnot, and you found my story interesting. If you like the video, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications on. Also check out my other channel, and the link for part 2 will be in the description box. And after part 2, I'll be giving you the information that you need on all the documents to get here. So stay tuned for part 2. It will be out right now too. So go and click on part 2 to watch that.